Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper for Viperland, and I'm back here with what should probably be the final wrapping up stream for Chaos Child. Barring any trophies and stuff we may need to wrap up, but fingers crossed. But yeah, just gonna get right the heck to it, because we had to leave on quite the cliffhanger last week where we know we're close, but it wasn't quite close enough that we could cut it then, or that we could keep going. We had to cut it then. So yeah, we were going inside the machine that Taku's inside, and he's about to be hooked up to, and some sort of image is the way to wake people up from Chaos Child Syndrome. I mean, it can't be the sumo sticker, right? But I feel like that's the only image we've really had. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. The second I came inside, I was sure. Also, hey Kaleido, thank you so much for heckin' 2-month subscription. Fun times ahead indeed. How you doing tonight? Thank you for the continued support. I hope you're still enjoying all the Viperland goodies we got going on. And I know you're here a lot for the visual novels. I hope you don't mind the fact that we're going to definitely be taking a few weeks off for Monster Hunter. However, we do have Eye locked and loaded, so like we're going to be doing that too. But we're probably going to take 2 weeks off for Monster Hunter, and then I've got the con that next weekend, so we're going to have a few weeks off from visual novels, but it's okay. We're not forgetting them. We're just, you know, hunting monsters. That's how it's going to go. But we're wrapping this up tonight, I hope. This was the room. There was no doubt about it. This is where I would talk to Wakui in the visions. If for some reason as well. Cool. Even better then. It was a cold white room. A hospital room, or maybe an operating room? There was a device in the middle of the room, like something you'd seen in a science fiction movie. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we had gotten a few steps ahead, but I didn't resave it because I was like, oh, we'll just save at the point where I was going to save anyway, even though I think we'd gotten a few lines ahead. That's why some of these may be repeated. Miyashiro was lying back in his seat in the middle of the device. It looked like something out of a spaceship cockpit. He wasn't asleep, but the drugs made him look really tired. What? Nothing? I told him I'd come to keep an eye. I told him I'd come to keep him from falling asleep, and pulled up a chair and sat down. What's that machine? What does it do? Kunosato didn't tell you? I didn't really understand what she said. All I got was that she was going to take Miyashiro's brainwaves, and that she'd use them to do something about Chaos Child Syndrome. Well, she can be hard to understand. She either uses wrong-siders for her own purposes or just leaves them behind. I'm only a wrong-sider because I can't remember, and because you guys won't tell me the things that are important. Miyashiro looked at me in surprise. Huh, you know the word wrong-sider, huh? Don't make fun of me. Well, I'd only learned it a bit ago. Huh? Suddenly the machine started to give off a low moan, and I almost jumped. Oh, don't worry, that's the sound of the brain scan starting. Is it really okay for 2 people to be in here? I mean, it must be, because she was talking in there before, but you know. Also, hey Joe, how's it going? Right-siders don't sleep? Man, then I'm a wrong-sider, because I sleep a lot. I like sleep. Miyashiro looked at the ring spinning around his head as he talked. It's going to take my brainwaves and use them to create an image. Kunosato said that too. What does that mean? I couldn't have him falling asleep, so I prodded him for an answer. The difference between me and the other patients lies in my brainwave patterns, and that's why I was able to come back. There's a special image that makes Chaos Child Syndrome patients sick when they see it. Okay, so it is. Yeah. Seems like we're exceptionally sensitive to visual information. Well, even if a normal person relies on vision for over 80% of the information they gather. I gave Kunosato and I the hint we needed. All we had to do was create an image that would cause the others to have the same brainwave patterns as I do. We could use that image to alter all their brainwaves and pull them back to reality. His voice was getting softer. I needed to keep him talking about something, it didn't matter what. Can you really do that? What kind of image is it? We can. We've got the data and the software together. That's why we've been searching. I think each person will see it differently, but it will be a symmetrical image. What it turns out to be, we'll have to wait and find out, I guess. If you got these, special brainwaves, then how did you get the syndrome in the first place? It doesn't make sense. At first, I didn't. It was only after I got the syndrome. But why? Well, all the Chaos Child Syndrome patients saw something nightmarish during the Shibuya earthquake, and they didn't believe what they saw. They refused to believe it was real. They thought that it couldn't actually be happening to them, and then there was this white light. White light. Those people who were undergoing exceptionally strong stress and shock became psychics. Escaping into their delusions wasn't enough for them. They tried to alter reality itself to escape the pain, and that's how they got their powers. Powers? Wait, what was he talking about? And I was the biggest coward of them all. Reality was just so painful that I took the girl who was always by my side and... Painful memories there? And suddenly Michio leapt up from his seat. He had a terrible look on his face. And he sounds fine. What's wrong? He seemed to be astonished at what he'd almost said. I'm sorry, it's nothing. He almost slipped up. He whispered and sank back into his seat. I wonder if that screws up the brain scan. Don't scare me like that. I'm sorry. I mean, I imagine he's awake now. Just like Kunosato had said, the medicine was already starting to wear off. I picked up the chair that I had knocked over and sat down, this time a little further away. He didn't seem dangerous, but just in case. And? Huh? Keep going. Who was always by your side? I could feel a sudden tension emanating from him as he stared at the ceiling. He pressed his lips together in thought. There was a silence for a while, one that threatened to burst if I pressed him for an answer, but then I heard him speak softly. My best friend. He was still staring at the ceiling. You had a best friend, huh? Even though you committed all those awful murders? Man, him sitting here getting accused by her of doing all these murders has gotta just be something. Yeah, in the end, she was the one who taught me that a fake reality was always doomed to fall apart someday. But that's why I was able to escape from the delusion surrounding me. I don't think the other patients have a friend who can help them realize that. Wait a second, I thought. What gave him the right to say that? The people you killed probably had close friends too. I almost said that, but for some reason I stopped. Michio's face, his eyes, they look so sad. Michio, I got the data extracted. I still have to finish copying it out, but I think it worked. Really? The tranquilizer should be wearing off. You're good to stand up. Okay. Michio stood up from the seat. There was a smile on his face. Wait! I called out to him as he went to leave the room. There's something else I desperately needed to know. Was your best friend another Chaos Child? What are they doing now? Michio slowly turned to look at me. No, she was a normal person. She's dead now. She's gone. I mean, you know. This is it? I waited about a half hour before Kunosato pulled an image up on the screen. Just like Miyashiro said, it was symmetrical. Different people might see it differently, but I couldn't imagine anybody would describe it as anything but elaborate scribbles. Is this really enough to cure the disease? We'll have to find out. Just go up to one person with Chaos Child Syndrome, show them a picture, see if they suddenly just go not old. The problem is how we do it. Yeah, there's still a group of people trying to continue the research, like Sukuma did. If we try to spread the image, they'll probably get in our way. We need to find a way to get past their interference and spread the image to as many people as possible at the same time, but we'll need to camouflage it. Like some sort of sticker, I guess. Just saying, you could theoretically spread it as some sort of sticker. Kunosato sank back in her chair, and she started typing at an unbelievable speed. Show it to them at the same time? You mean the patients? Yeah, Michio nodded. Of course, we can't show it to them all, but we need to get it to as many people as possible. Why? Otherwise, the delusion synchro they share with the others might draw them back in. They might stay in that delusion that they're the same. They might stay in the delusion that they're the same as other people. I remembered my conversation with Kunosato. I'd said that they were having a dream that showed them what they wanted to see. It's a bit of a rush job, but this will do. Huh. I could see a strange image that looked like white noise on the screen. Kept staring at it, but I couldn't see the image from before. Did she just Photoshop something with nothing but keyboard commands? She didn't. They specified she tapped to the keyboard rapidly. She did not use a mouse, from what they said. Right? And the sound effects. Started to type at an unbelievable speed. She's photoshopping images with just keyboard commands alone. Too powerful. She's too powerful. Miyashiro seemed to be as confused as I would. Kunosato took something out of her pocket and pointed it at the monitor. It made a cute noise. A digital camera? Huh, I guess that's good enough. It's usable. She checked the LCD screen on the back and proffered it to me. She looked slightly dissatisfied. The screen showed... Huh? The LCD screen on the camera showed a slightly distorted version of the same image I'd seen before. Script in Photoshop? Probably, but this isn't her computer, though. That's the thing. If this was her computer, I'd be like, okay, maybe. How? It's just a picture of white noise. I see. The shutter speed. Okay. Okay. So it's a real thing. Shutter speed is a real thing. That's why you sometimes see like footage of like helicopters that look like their rotors aren't moving, or a wheel that looks like the hubcap, like the spokes of it, are stationary. That's the shutter speed. But for her to be able to custom program a Photoshop image with nothing but keyboard commands at somebody else's computer in order to make it so that it syncs up to the shutter speed delay of a digital we're just going to go with it? Because when we're talking a game that has literal psychics and gigalomaniacs, this is not the weirdest thing to happen. But come on, game. That's right, I mixed up the image into the noise for only a few frames. If you set the shutter speed to 1 second, this is how it looks. Okay, so it is for a specific shutter speed. That's a little different. I always go on my rants and then look over and the text is like, shut up, Viper. Every time. Still asking a lot, but like, if it's set to a specific shutter speed, that's different. Even if the eye can't see it, their minds will still process it. It might work better than I thought, honestly. Oh, if it's the 1 second shutter speed, so yeah, so it will look like noise, but like a long exposure, even like a second long exposure would get it. Okay. Okay. That's right, even if someone misses the video, we can mix it in with another. Kunosato, you can do the video editing too, can't you? What kind of page do you think I run? That's right, Miyashiro said, smiled. The video? His confession. Huh? His confession? We'll announce the time and upload some evidence to make it look like it's real, and then broadcast the confession online. And we'll mix this noise in before, during, and after the broadcast. Everyone at Hekiho is sure to watch it. The same with anybody at wow, I don't know what I'm doing wrong tonight. The same with anybody at another facility. Excuse me. Or whose guardians are keeping them at home. Kunosato looked at him mischievously. It's a new message from the famous criminal the vast majority will watch. That's right. Miyashiro smiled back. Oh, so that was it. I finally realized. Is that what you're after? Hmm? You're helping Kunosato to get your new message out into the world? People think that you're suffering in jail after the police arrested you. But you're walking around outside without a care in the world. You want to let everyone know that you're not suffering like they think you are. Am I wrong? He was a horrible killer. I had to be right. I put as much rudeness and sarcasm as I could muster into my words. Miyashiro laughed tiredly. Even I'm not that much of a dick. No, that's not true. The old you might have done that. Even she's like, no, you were a big dick. Mm-hmm. You really were. I don't want to hear that from you, Kunosato. And anyway, just before I could finish the sentence. Hey, didn't anyone ever tell you not to steal? Brackle. There's suddenly a voice behind us. Kind of figured nothing was going to go perfectly right. Miyashiro tensed in the direction of the voice. Kunosato stood up and glared. I was the only one who was too off guard to react. Turned my head back over my shoulder. And there was a man standing there. I'd seen him before. How? Well, guess he came back. I mean, we know how to beat him, though. You make a giant sumo sticker Cyclops creature, Triclops, I guess, and he won't be able to do anything. I'm a teacher at Hekiho. Of course I'm here. Oh, stop, Kunosato. Kunosato froze, her hand in her pocket. No sense in talking to him upstairs. There's no getting in or out. I changed your minds to work that way. Great. Okay. Cool. True, yeah. Also, hey Ark, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. There's more tension in Kunosato and Miyashiro's faces than I'd ever seen. The man laughed a little as he saw it, and then I realized that this was the man in my visions, and the man in the photo Kunosato had showed me. Suichi Wakui. Do you need something? You're quite the bold thief, aren't you? You're stealing my data. You're the type who loses sight of everything else when she thinks she's in the right. Why not lighten up a little? I heard they hated you at that lab in America. They probably did, yeah. You bastard. Oh, don't get mad. It's just something I heard. Anyway. For now, why don't we all sit down? It's tiring standing up. Something felt very wrong. Wakui wasn't holding any kind of weapon. He was a thin, gentle-looking scientist type. He didn't seem strong at all. If Mishio and Kunosato both leapt at him at the same time, they should be able to hold him down, and I could help a little, if the three of us attacked at once. They were keeping their distance and acting cautious, as if he was holding a gun. Eat warm cereal. That's a statement. Yep, that's a statement. Also, hey Potions, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Yeah, understandably. Faust players gotta embrace the chaos, yeah, that's what you do. I'm not here to kill you, don't be so nervous. You especially, Miyashiro. I'm the advisor of the newspaper club. I'd like to think we got along well. Wakui laughed as he talked. For some reason, he sounded like a con artist. Let's sit down, Onoe. When he heard that, he smiled for some reason. It was a nasty smile, like he was enjoying something. You're calling her Onoe now, huh? What? Do you know me? Stop it. Do what he says, please. Please. Michi's by far the better club advisor. He may have been a useless adult, but he still meant well. He wasn't literally evil. Michi was just kind of useless in a comical sort of way. Yeah, the one that doesn't try to kill us, correct. He was comically useless, and he also went through some stuff. So we're gonna give Michi a break. For sure. Fine. I sat down in a nearby chair. Kunosato sat too. She seemed like she was trying to hold back her anger even more than usual. Wakui smiled in surprise as he looked at the monitor Kunosato had been working at. I see. So you'll make the brainwaves match Miyashiro's, huh? My, it's quite well done. Such a shame, Kunosato. You sure you don't want to come back to the committee? Shut up. Back to? She just barely stopped herself from getting out of her chair. Never been part of the... Okay. I've never been part of the committee. You stole my research data and used it for experiment. Yeah, that sounds like them, 100%. Man, the committee has just pinpointed this one university in America and been like, we just gonna steal and use all the brain data from, like, these 3 scientists that are all high school age women. We're gonna take their, like, high school age girls, we're gonna take their research, just use it for bad. Just use it for bad. Admittedly, it wasn't necessarily Krisu's fault. They found her. It was really Okabe's, whatever. The committee has just found this one college. It's like brain research. We're gonna... them. Her voice was shaking. She seemed genuinely furious. That's strange. I'm told you were quite enthusiastic at first. You said it was very good data. And who cares how many brain-damaged children die? If it's for the good of science, you should have been happy to think. We take all their ideas. I said shut up. She finally stood up, her eyes wide with rage. But the next moment... nothing good happened. Well, yeah, probably. For sure. Huh? She was suddenly slammed back into the wall. It was as if she was thrown by some invisible force. What was that? I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my temples. My hand shot up to my head. It was the same pain as when I passed out after first coming here. My fingers tensed up and my nails dug into my forehead. Kunosato, don't you think it's about time you admitted it? No matter what you do, you won't be able to damage the committee. You took the data from America and vanished, and then showed up here as a scientist. Of course, I'm sure your intent was to look for us, but... If you didn't even notice me when I was walking the halls in broad daylight, you're never going to get anywhere. As the pain blurred my vision, I heard the sound of gritting teeth. Kunosato was looking at Wakui with an incredible fury. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't making fun of you. I actually have a very high regard for you. This image, for example, is quite well made. Go ahead and show it to the patients. Huh? What? Is it that surprising? Yeah, a little. Oh, I get it. You think I'm part of the same group as Sakuma, the one that still hasn't given up on Gigglomaniac research. I mean, you are a Gigglomaniac, though. Huh. I see. That would explain why you view me as an enemy. Also the violence, also the threats, also the working for the committee. There's a lot of reasons we'd view you as an enemy. A lot of them. Wakui kept laughing. I didn't know what was funny. Am I wrong? I can't see it, but you're a Gigglomaniac too, right? Kunosato pointed to the empty space in front of Wakui's hand. That's got nothing to do with this. I'm just a man who's loyal to the committee, and the committee's orders are to clean up all the irregularities that resulted from the incident 6 years ago. You see, I want the same thing you do, so I have no reason to interfere with you. Yet here you are, interfering with us! If that was actually true, he would just let us do it. Do you understand? He laughed. To tell you the truth, I first had the same hopes as Sakuma after he left us. Same hopes for you, Takeru Miyashiro. Huh? The appearance of Chaos Child Syndrome in Shibuya was one such irregularity, as was the appearance of the psychics from among the patients. But when what appeared to be a real Gigglomaniac appeared from among the failures, I was astonished. So I kept watching you, independently of Sakuma. The higher-ups were skeptical, though. It was difficult to persuade them to postpone the big cleanup of Shibuya. Wakui seemed to be enjoying this, but Miyashiro was glaring back at him fiercely. For my part, my headache was getting unbearably bad. Psychics, Gigglomaniac, Sakuma, each time I heard a word, my head started to throb. Something was getting stuck in my memories. Something was intertwining with my feelings. But unfortunately, you abandoned your powers. And not only that, you recovered from Chaos Child Syndrome. The reason I used to persuade the higher-ups was gone, and my reputation was ruined. They got quite angry, you see. My ranking was lowered. I've got no money and no connection, so it wasn't easy to get this far, but... Well, now's not the time for complaining, is it? Anyway, this city and Chaos Child Syndrome are now of no value to us. In fact, we could be in a lot of trouble if anyone like Sakuma starts up another strange research project. So if you want to use that image to get rid of the syndrome patients, that would make us very happy, Sakuma said as he spread his arms wide. Miyashiro, Kunosato, do you understand? So don't look so upset, you two. Right now, we're comrades. We all want the same thing. Let me ask you again, Kunosato. You sure you don't want to join us in our research? I refuse. There was no doubt in her voice, only black anger. But Wakui was as unmoved as ever. That's so strange. I fail to understand it. Why does someone like you get so obsessed with revenge? Can't you look at the bigger picture? The position and power to do whatever you want as a researcher, and the money too. It's all yours for the taking. It's not just for your own personal benefit. It's to make the next world a better one. Didn't you hear me? I refuse. Come on, Kunosato. Didn't you hear me? We're comrades. You especially. I've been very sternly told not to kill. The look in his eyes changed for a moment. I felt a shiver go down my spine and took my hands off my aching head to grab the sides of the chair I was sitting in. If I didn't, it felt like I would fall over. A stupid threat. Kunosato, however, was unmoved. Her voice was strong. Just listening to it made it feel like the terror was fading away. The position to do whatever I want? Power? How stupid. No matter how great they are, I'm sick of getting my power from someone else. It's not worth a cent. Power is something that's only valuable if you gain it yourself. Even if you're not sure what the right path is, believing in the answer and going forward is what makes you human. Sorry, my fan. I gotta move it a little bit. It's too hot in here today. But it's supposed to cool off on Monday, so I don't want to put it in the AC yet, but it's too hot today. The grin vanished from his face. It's supposed to be just as hot tomorrow. There was a wickedness in his voice that even I could sense. Was that how you were originally thought, or were you influenced by someone? I couldn't say. I felt like Kunosato looked at Miyashiro for a moment. How unfortunate. Well, feel free to continue convincing yourself you've gotten one up on us while you dance to the tune we play. Okay. Huh? Suddenly Kunosato disappeared without a sound. How? She was just here. Quickly looked around, but she was nowhere to be seen. You. Don't move, Miyashiro. I'm in a bit of a bad mood right now. Move, and I'll stab you. Oh, that's right. You can't even see it now, can you? This. So can Sarika see it now? Yeah, I guess she can. Oh no, he real booted it. Duh. What? There's something creepy wrapped around Wakui's hand. It's like a huge pair of scissors, or no, like a creature with thorn-covered tentacles bearing its fangs at us. And it appeared from nowhere, the same way that Kunosato's had vanished. Sheesh, I don't understand you either. How could you throw away your power? You, I'm told, it's okay to kill, so listen carefully. Miyashiro seemed to be judging his distance from Wakui. His legs were shaking a little, but he didn't take a single step back. Felt like I was going crazy from the headaches and all the strange things that were happening. I told you I've been watching you a long time, didn't I? That was actually because I thought there was another interesting experiment I could do. You like urban legends, so you must have heard of the One World Order. A unified world government? That's right. Watching you, I thought that perhaps Shibuya could be a test ground for that. The aging process caused by Chaos Child Syndrome is actually just a byproduct of brain activity. The more interesting facet is the fact that the patients that don't notice it. During the earthquake, the people struck by the light created an escape from reality as a source of relief from the stress. They started to live in a different world and created for themselves an ideal Shibuya via delusion synchro. And that's a miniaturized version of the One World Order I envision. A world where everybody ignores the government ruling over them? Cool. They don't even notice how they've turned into old people. Instead, they continue to delude themselves into thinking they're happy. Don't you think that makes them ideal subjects to rule over? Man, the committee is really... This just in, the committee that tries to rule over the entire world and shape it in the image that they want it to be, really evil. And so I proposed an experiment, a miniature version of One World Order. The committee was skeptical about you, but this they took great interest in. An experiment. My idea was that I could use Shibuya to simulate just how much the ruled classes in the One World Order would be able to tolerate. Of course, it was nothing that complex. My plan was to do a new stress test on the syndrome patients. Little by little, I would cause incidents that would disrupt the peaceful lives they built up via the delusion synchro here in Shibuya, and then... So he was the... At what level would their stress values reach the maximum? And when they did, would they create a new delusion to restore their peaceful lives? Well, we knew he was in contact with Onoe, so presumably he was like, hey, you gotta do this. I guess? Yeah, I mean, if he has the powers of a full Gigalomaniac, I mean, Sukuma just had mind control. He's got everything. He can do whatever the fudge he wants. If he was like, hey, you're gonna do this for me now, she was gonna do that for him now. So it works, I guess, but like, yeah. In the case of the One World Order, it would amount to the following. How much stress can the ruled classes take from the ruling classes, in the form of oppression and exploitation? Conversely, what level of stress will cause them to reach their limits? And when they do reach their limits, will they rebel against the ruling class to try and take back their happiness? Well, anyway, that was my experiment. But when I went to actually start it, I found there was nothing for me to do. The return of the New Generation Madness had Shibuya in an uproar. All the killings your friend carried out were quite different than what I'd imagined, but they were still quite effective. Huh? Miyashiro's friend did the killings? What's he talking about? Miyashiro was the killer, right? I could see that Miyashiro's legs had stopped shaking. He stood tall, even in the face of that terrifying weapon. For a moment, I was entranced by the sight. The patients were excited and overjoyed to see someone in a worse state than they were. To be that person a murder victim or an escaping killer. This was despite all the disturbances to their peaceful Shibuya, mind you. There wasn't a single crack in the synchronization, and I understood why. This matched my theories of the One World Order. If you wanted to keep the subject class from having the courage to rebel, you give them an even lower class of humans as bait. This is hitting a bit too close to reality. This is hitting just a smidge too close. Like, being vague as possible, because I really don't get political here. I really don't. But as a general sense, the country I live in is basically split in two, and social media keeps people sectioned off into their own bubble, and the media each side sees tells them the other side is wrong and the other side is the problem. Hate the other side. As long as you have someone else to focus all your hatred and anger at, you ain't looking at how they're screwing you over. And it's been that way for a while now, and this isn't even a recent game. This is like, this game came out a ways back, and it's like, yeah, no, that's still the case. It's actually gotten worse. As long as you can be convinced to hate, truly hate someone else, that's not the person that's truly screwing you over, you'll never notice that you're getting screwed over. Because you've got someone to focus on, you've got someone to hate. And that's just how things have been going. If you do that, they won't even notice. They'll make the lower class suffer for the fun of it. And sometimes they'll even say that what they're doing is right. They'll be satisfied, happy. And as long as they're doing that, the real ruling class is safe. Really, you have no idea how easy it is to control people. Well, anyway, I was able to show the committee some good results. But then, Wakui came towards me, a terrifying look on his face. I don't even have memories, what? Oh, absolutely, social media has way made things worse. Drastically, but like, I was on MySpace back in the day, and I was on Facebook when it started. I was on Facebook when, like, you needed a college email address, a valid college email address to be there. Social media has made it worse, but it has absolutely accelerated in the past, let's say, 10 years? I'd even put the number as a lower number than that. I'd say 6 years. I don't know exactly when it really kicked up steam, but, like, it has definitely accelerated. I tried to take a step back without thinking. Miyashiro grabbed me by the arm. Huh? Stay close to me. Huh? No, let go! Just do what I say for now. No, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Well, you have somebody who's trying to protect you from a person with a giant blade. Even if you truly, truly believe Miyashiro is the killer, he's clearly doing a thing right now to defend you from a person with a giant, unknowable blade. So, you know... So, maybe, listen to the guy without the giant blade pointed at you? Miyashiro, you ruined everything. The egomaniac matter, as well as my One World Order experiment. As I said before, I was blamed rather harshly for not dealing with you sooner. I never thought they'd lower my rank so much. Because of you, I might not make it to the next world, Miyashiro. Sounds like a whole bunch of sucks for you. Maybe you could have just tried to, like, enjoy this world instead. When I saw the weapon in Wakui's hands, for the first time I realized I might die. Is he going to kill me? Is he really going to kill me? I mean, probably after Miyashiro. Death had never really seemed real to me. I hadn't even thought about it. But now it was right in front of me. The huge blades in Wakui's hand, and the eerie light it gave off were pulling me deeper into the terror. Can you give me an answer I can be satisfied with? Why did you choose to go back to reality? You won't answer me. Then, Wakui looked at me. Maybe it's not too late to bring you back. The end of the blades were pointed at me. They opened up like the jaws of a shark to devour me. Well, I was wrong. I guess she's gonna go first. And a white light sparked between them as they got closer. There was a loud throbbing noise in my head. To scare a full gigalomaniac like him? Yeah. My whole field of vision suddenly shifted. I put my hand onto the wall to try and steady myself, but it wasn't the wall. It was the floor. I'd fallen to the ground. It hurts. I held my head. The pain was so bad I couldn't sense anything else. One vision after another came flowing inside of me. Felt like my head was being ripped open, as if my memories were being forced to come back. Well, I mean, yes. What was this? Where was this? Who was this? No, I knew all the answers. What? I knew? That couldn't be true. It had to be true. I'd seen them before. No, I'd never seen them before in my life. I clutched my head in my hands, confused, curled up into a ball and moaned. I don't know. I don't know if these visions are real or not. I don't know anything. Stop it! Yeah, good luck on that one. I saw Miyashiro try to stand between me and Wakui and get slammed backwards. He was smashed into the floor, hard. Don't get in my way, please. You can't do anything. It's too late for regrets. If you hadn't abandoned your gigalomaniac powers, you might have been able to kill me. Miyashiro, why? Why was he trying to save me? Onoi, are you okay? Yeah? For a moment I couldn't speak, but I looked at him and nodded. When I saw him calling me Onoi, it felt like it overlapped with a memory that made me want to cry. What's this? Wakui was frowning at Miyashiro as he held the huge blade in his hand. She's tougher than I thought. If you had the power to do this, then why? Because it was the one thing I could do to atone for her. At some point, I'd forgotten the pain in my head. Couldn't take my eyes off Miyashiro. Together, nothing would change. Apart, both she and I would stop making mistakes. Otherwise, we'd do it again. Why not do it again? What's wrong with that? Spoken like a true evil person. Miyashiro was crawling on the ground, but he looked up at his enemy with eyes that would never give in to anyone. A man can't spend his life clinging to the girl he loves. That's your reason? Even when Wakui looked at him with a wry smile, he didn't flinch at all. There's no sign of shame. Is that reason not good enough? You people think you're gods. Maybe you just can't understand human feelings. Why not try it then? Try it? You can kill me whenever you want, right? So why not test me? If you're right, someday I'll go back. But if I'm right, I never will. Why not try and see who's right? Miyashiro stood up slowly, without anyone's help. You really think I'll agree to that? You will. You want your rank, or whatever it is, back, right? You're pathetically clinging to the committee so you can survive in the next world. Then why not keep watching me, the real irregular who disappointed you? If I ever do go back to being a gigalomaniac, I'll help you with whatever you want. You can claim all the glory. So you're going to play a game with me and bet yourself as the prize. Yeah, this whole thing was a goddamned game from the start. Yeah, literally and figuratively. Of course, I have no intention of losing. I'll struggle to the last second. Miyashiro, you're a truly interesting person. I don't like the concept of him just hopping in unannounced at any point in your entire rest of your life. Suddenly, Wakui vanished, leaving behind only the eerie light of his blade seared into our eyes. Can we have Kunosato back too? Very well, I accept your game. Let's start right now then, Miyashiro. Yeah, that also means he's going to go out of his way to try to push him to that for the rest of his life. I heard a voice from somewhere. It's like it was coming from directly within my head, and then everything went quiet. Hey, Miyashiro. Oh, I guess she's back. Ah. Suddenly, Kunosato was back, just as quickly as she disappeared. It was as if she'd never left. Are you okay? Yeah, was all she said. She was biting her lip, perhaps frustrated at how much stronger her opponent was. Yeah. Yeah, it seems perfectly fine to just... I mean, I guess it's better than death, to be fair. Where's Wakui? He accepted my proposal, for now. I think we should be okay for a while, but more importantly... Nisho pointed to the PC, and Kunosato leapt at it. The image is safe, but damn. He got us. All the data in the committee is gone. Oh, that was why. Their other plan was getting info in the committee. Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, are you okay? Yeah. Casual, yeah. All of a sudden I couldn't get in. What happened? Sound of fingers on a keyboard echoed off the walls. Kunosato grimaced. He physically destroyed just the important hard disk. There's no way to restore them. Damn that Wakui. Wakui was here? Miyashiro nodded. I'll tell you the details later. First, let's do what we came here for. Kunosato, you can take the video with that camera, right? You're going to make your confession here? Yes. Wakui, the committee, they aren't coming back here. I want to end everything to do with Chaos Child Syndrome as fast as I can. Kunosato bit her lip once more and sighed a little. Shincho, let's do what he says. Get some people together to carry out the brain scan device. We might be able to find some clues from it. Sure. The detective seemed a little annoyed, but he must have been used to being talked to like that, because he went to the other room. Yeah, I'm sure he's used to it by now. Miyashiro was looking at me. I tried to tell him about all the fragments of memories I'd seen, but I just opened my mouth. He motioned for me to stop. Onoe? What? Thanks for taking us here. Sorry for scaring you like that. It's okay now. I don't care about that, but those memories... The rest of this is our job, so... Miyashiro looked towards the exit. You can go, he seemed to say. No, that wasn't it. Go home, his eyes said. I had to ask. I had to find out for sure, but my lips wouldn't move, my words wouldn't come out. Why? Why was I... Miyashiro, let's do this. Right. Miyashiro turned his back and began to ignore me. He followed Kunosato's instructions and put a chair up against a wall. What do I say to attract the most attention? Don't ask me. You're the one who committed the murders, supposedly. Say something that sounds like a murderer. Supposedly. My headache had almost gone away when Wakui disappeared, but it started to get a little stronger. My head was throbbing with pain, and for some reason the pain was eating into my heart. Then why not try saying something about how you hate the whole world? Sounds good. We'll go with that. The two of them had stopped paying any attention to me at all. I staggered towards the exit as if trying to escape from the headache. I turned back before I went up the stairs, but no one was looking at me. Miyashiro wasn't looking at me either. I left the basement without saying a word. It's not my fault that I did this. It's the fault of our sick society. I could hear him speaking into the camera below. I was getting further and further away. I was staggering unsteadily, as if I was in a waking dream. But I'd succeeded in my goal. Kurusu would wake up now. And then I could ask her about me. Huh? Me? Why was I going to ask her about myself again? Everything felt so hazy, I couldn't remember. Well, it didn't matter. I should just do what Miyashiro said and go back home. My head hurt. Probably wasn't feeling well. I need to go home and rest. Where is my home again? Oh, right, Yokohama. Why I had come here, what the result had been, and even how I felt right now. I didn't know any of it anymore. I was walking through town. It was probably the slowest I'd ever walked in my life. There's definitely people behind you on the sidewalk, very upset. As the sun started to set over the city, I kept having trouble walking forward, but I couldn't stop. I realized that I wasn't supposed to be here, so I forced myself to keep going. For some reason, once I got away from Miyashiro, my headache stopped. It was as if his very existence was the cause of it. Oh, right, today's... I looked at all the happy girls and remembered. February 14th, Valentine's Day. The day when girls told boys they liked them. With chocolate. I hate people like you. I hadn't really been thinking about it when I said it. It wasn't often you told someone to their face that you don't like them. You only realized what you really wanted to say after you said goodbye. Was that a line from a movie? Who did I go to see it with? I laughed, even though I thought it was stupid. I was happy now. I bet the old me was a nasty girl who hadn't been happy at all. She's not wrong. But now I'd forgotten all about it. I'd forgotten all about it and I could be happy. That's right, I was happy now. That was why I had to laugh. Hey, Serika? Where are you going? I asked myself, but I didn't answer. I just kept walking. I was walking in a crowd full of people. As I walked, I stopped being able to figure out how much of the world was real. All the nightmarish things that just happened, all these people were walking by without knowing anything about them. Which world was real? It had to be this one. The big TVs were playing wonderful music, and there was a delicious smell coming from the crepe stand. This was the right world, the fun world. It had to be this world. But I knew that was a lie, but I pretended I didn't, and I kept smiling and walking. I was a liar, true. True all the way back, yeah. Someone who was honest with themselves, like maybe a child or something, might have gone back to that basement. Because this town, this place, it should be so much fun, but it felt so awful. I couldn't find the place where I belonged, but I couldn't go back to that basement. I wasn't a kid anymore. Not anymore. I was a lying grown-up. Suddenly a scene from the nightmare came back. All happy scenes, as you can tell. The fragments of memories I'd seen there. They were scattered about like pieces of a puzzle, and they were eating away at me. And beyond them, I remembered a tiny little feeling. Do something about this, please. There's probably no way to get it back. I'd realized that no matter who I asked, it was the one thing they'd never tell me. The memories and the feelings kept spinning about inside me. I wanted to go back there, but I couldn't. I kept walking with nowhere to go. And eventually I found myself in front of a building near the station. It had been 30 minutes since the sunset. What was the name of this place again? Hikario? Looked up at a tall building. I couldn't tell how many floors it was. Couldn't remember ever coming here, but my body went inside without hesitation. I stepped out of the elevator and saw a pretty theater. I could see a poster for a musical on the wall. There was a picture on it that I'd seen somewhere before. The soirée was just about to start. Theater lingo that refers to a performance held in the evening. A daytime performance is a matinee. I stood in line to buy a ticket. Luckily, there was a seat open near the front of the house. Very luckily, I bought my ticket and buried myself in the waves of people going into the theater. This place is... what? Something was strange. I thought I'd never been here before, but it was familiar. I'd come here before. I walked up the stairs through the crowd and opened the door to the theater. And when I stepped inside, I heard a sound like something bursting within me. Something snapped within my head. I walked towards my seat. I slowly weaved my way through the other audience members, going down the steps of the corridor. The curtain was lowered, and on it there was a projection with the name of the musical and an illustration on it. But what was I seeing with why Wow. But what I was seeing was an empty theater. An empty stage lit up by bright lights. I sat in my seat, and after a while the buzzer rang and the curtain came up. The orchestra played a low sound that echoed in the pit of my stomach, and the cast came up on stage. But my mind was still seeing the same thing. It was still looking at an empty stage. Is this where I... On stage, the actors started a pantomime rowing a boat. They were creating a delusional world on the stage, filled with things that didn't exist. But I was seeing a different world. It was the world I'd lived in before. The musical kept going, but the empty stage that only I saw didn't change. My memories ached, my feelings starting to overflow. I'd done something here, with someone. The sadness from when I talked with them was filling my heart. The pain in my throat when I screamed at them was coming back to me. It hurt to breathe. I was gasping like I was underwater. The actors sang, their voices riding on the powerful music. It was a song the heroes sang to inspire themselves and the people before they went off to fight the revolution. The people of this fictional world all lined up and yelled. "Come along and join us," they sang. And then it happened. I saw someone on the empty stage. They were holding something up high in their hands. I could see that it was a sword, gleaming with a dull shine. It was a tool for battle. Because it was the one thing I could do to atone for her. Together, nothing would change. Apart, both she and I would stop making mistakes. A man can't spend his life clinging to the girl he loves. Huh? I was trying to see, like, who's next to her. I was crying. It was the same tears I felt on my cheek when I woke up in the morning. I quickly wiped them away with the back of my hand, but they didn't stop. I kept wiping them away and they didn't stop coming. Huh? It's no good. They wouldn't stop. I couldn't stop them. Buried my face in my hands. I don't have any regrets. I don't regret what I did. I'm satisfied. You scum! Keep going. Who was always by your side? My best friend. You had a best friend, huh? Even though you committed all those awful murders? Was your best friend another chaos child? What are they doing now? No, she's a normal person. She's dead now. She's gone. The play ended, and the audience gave a standing ovation. The actors stood on the stage and bowed. Alone, I wiped away my tears. Sat there for a long time, unable to get up. No one else could see the blurry world I saw. I looked up to stop the tears from falling down. And the lights on the stage shone down on me like a spotlight. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not a spotlight. The spotlight would be in the back of the theater, but still close enough. Huh, okay. So I guess the true end is she does forget, but feels like trash for the rest of her life? Miyashiro finds a cure for Chaos Child Syndrome, and presumably a lot of the Chaos Child sufferers get better, presumably. At the very least his friends, because we know they can easily, they're in the hotel, they could easily just show them the picture. They don't even have to disguise it. But she's not going to have a super happy rest of her life, but neither is Taku. Taku's straight up just going to be followed by Wakui and watched by him forever now, with the direct goal of trying to get him to reawaken as a Gigalomaniac, with the promise that if he does, he'll do whatever he wants. Obviously, bad. Clearly. I mean, is he really, though? Is he really? He was being held in the hospital away from people, but I feel like anybody that's a higher up knows he didn't do it. But he was just about to do a confession, so maybe not. Maybe he does just go to prison. It's a very open-ended ending, as it were. Well, yeah, like... Well, I mean, he didn't create Chaos Child Syndrome, but he did create Serica. And Serica did the murders, but it seems like that really was the brainchild of Wakui, not her. Yeah, he gets marked a serial killer. But like now we know it really wasn't, I mean it was her, she did the things, but we know that at least a good chunk of that came from Wakui. It was his idea that she acted out. Also, I guess that would be why when he died in that one ending, she could still see him. Because that whole world is just delusions anyway, and she acted out of the real world. So she could still be like, yeah, I see you. If we go on the assumption that all those other endings were how he knew to wake up from that delusion. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, it may not be a great life for him, but compared to what things could have been, it's probably the best he's got. Man, just imagine Taku 1 being given that same choice. You know he'd make it wrong. You know he would. 100%. So he's still got a little ways to go. But just because I want to get the platinum. And I don't want to... I mean, I guess we could start Nirvana tonight, but I'd rather get the... Yeah, no, fair. It absolutely sucks for him, but he made the choice and stuck to it all the way. Which is, again, more than we could say for Taku 1 by miles. By miles. I like it though. Good game. I think the ones we have left for trophies, I'll have to check after this rolls, because I didn't actually look at the trophy list. I was just basing it all off of the spoiler-free walkthrough. We should have to grab a few remaining delusions, 2 achievements for the mapping triggers, and there's an achievement for reading all the tips, which we should get by doing all the other stuff too. We haven't gotten it yet, which to me means that one of those delusions has a tips message on it, or we forgot to read one. Or I forgot to read one. Yeah. I don't remember if we made the save in the 4th route by that delusion trigger, but we have to see the positive and negative for it. And there should be one in Chapter 5 that we've never had to nab before. So yeah, okay. Yeah, Taku 1 gets to live scot-free. We're getting a few more stickers. Just a few more stickers. Yeah, that's true. He's being hunted too. But yeah, he's got superpowers, so October 2016. 8 months later. Everyone's favorite hospital. The next examination will be at the same time next week. Take care. Alright, thank you. As she bowed to the nurse, who she'd come to know quite well, Senri Minamiyasawa, the girl who was once Nono Kurisu, checked the time. It was almost noon. The exams were getting shorter and shorter. They hadn't even given her any drugs today. That probably meant she was getting better. Oh, sister! Uki Yamazoe, whose exam had evidently been as short as hers, came down from the psych ward on the 5th floor. When she saw Senri, she ran over. Are you done for the day too? Hey, no running in the hospital. Oh, you're right, I'm sorry. Yeah, she's not a tall one. Senri felt herself smile as she watched her little sister walk fast, but not run, towards the front desk. Her little sister had struggled with her physical therapy, but now she could walk and run like a normal girl. She wanted to be a nurse, just like Senri. Be the perfect job for her. Okay, let's go. We got out earlier than expected, so why don't we invite everyone to lunch? I'm sure they'll come. Yeah. Oh. Yuki suddenly seemed to remember something and stopped. Did you forget something? No, Yuki was choosing her words carefully as she looked at the elevator that had just come down. Are you sure, sister? Yeah. Senri put her hand on her little sister's head. We said goodbye, right? That's good enough. And security is really tight recently. Nobody can get in. But... So it's fine, Yuki. Don't be like that, okay? Her little sister nodded a second later, and Senri smiled. Glad to see you survived your checkup. Thanks. Oh yeah, she'd be able to speak here because nothing's holding her back unless she opted not to still, but... When she contacted them on her phone, she found that Hine Arimura and Hana Kazuki had both been waiting for her call all morning. They met in front of Shibuya Station and started walking. It's been a long time since the four of them had gone through the city together like this. They saw each other often at the hospital, but their exams and physical therapy were all at different times, which made it hard to schedule anything. But today was a special day, and even if they didn't say anything, they all knew they were going to meet. What's you doing today? He went to the library with his friends. So he's doing better. Whoa! He's going to the library on his day off? There's a scary thought. He's all excited to be a lawyer when he grows up. Wow, a lawyer? For a kid's dream, that's pretty big. Oh. Oh, so that's it, Hine almost said, but she stopped herself. Both Hana and Hine immediately understood the meaning of Yuto Tachibana's childlike dream, as well as the fact that it might even come true. And Yuto knew what day it was, too. That had to have been why he went to the library with his friends, just like the four of them had gathered today. An indescribable sadness was threatening to build up between them. Oh, whoops. It was Arimura's loud voice that broke the silence. Everybody, if we don't hurry, all the restaurants are going to be full. That's right, where should we eat? I'm super hungry, so I suggest the usual cafe. What do you think, guys? I'm okay with that. Yeah, Yuto went through a lot for someone his age in this game. Me too, that's fine. Alright, let's go there then. Okay, follow me. Hine raised one hand up like a tour guide and wrapped the other around Hana's. The two of them had been hanging out together a lot recently. Then she plunged into the crowd. There were no Chaos Child Syndrome patients to be seen. 8 months ago, over 80% of the Chaos Child Syndrome patients in Shibuya all fell unconscious at once. Excuse me. They were all quickly split up and taken to nearby hospitals. The hospitals were overflowing with patients. It was almost like the earthquake 6 years ago. No, 7 years now. Even those patients who had escaped the initial wave quickly fell unconscious as well and were all taken to hospitals. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Several people were injured when they'd fallen, but none of them badly. And several days later, the patients began to wake up, almost all of them in a state of extreme panic. They couldn't believe their real forms. Senri, Hine, and the others woke up at the same time and were terribly confused. But they didn't panic like the others. They quickly realized that he was involved and that he'd done this for everyone's sake. And so all the patients returned to a normal but harsh reality. Minamisawa, don't get out of line. We'll leave you behind. Oh, right. Senri realized that she'd stopped walking as she reflected on the past. She ran to catch up with the others. What had happened when she was asleep? Right after she'd woken up, Takeru had told her himself. Kunosato and Shinjo had let her meet in a special hospital room. He also told her about Serika's true nature and the truth behind the return of the New Generation madness. Wakui, the committee, and the Chaos Child Syndrome too. He told her about everything. And lastly, he told her the truth about Sakuma, the father she'd believed in. There was something that she, Senri Minamisawa, or Nono Kurisu, depending, had to tell him too. Now that she didn't look like Nono Kurisu anymore, there was no way she could keep up the lie. She'd had trouble working up the courage before she went into Takuru's room. She'd hesitated so many times and almost thought about not meeting him at all. But it was the other girls from her room that had scolded her and urged her on. She'd been the last to wake up because of the wound in her chest, and by the time she did, Uki, Ine, and Hana had already seen the real her. And everyone had forgiven her without saying a word. But when she'd hesitated about meeting Takeru, they'd gotten really mad. Can't you trust him? They asked. Is he the kind of guy who wouldn't forgive you? And that was enough for her to decide. After she told him everything, Takeru had laughed gently. You're so silly. You should have told me sooner. Yes, but every time she remembered his voice then, she felt like she would cry. Senri gave up her old name and body and went back to being herself. She'd been forced into 6 months of physical therapy, not just because of the syndrome, but the stab wound as well. But at last, she was capable of going outside on her own. She'd gone back to Hekiho Academy, which was now just a normal private school, and started living the life of a normal student along with the others. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, what is it? How was the exam? Same as ever, but they didn't give me any medicine. I think I'm about done with doctors. But wants to be a nurse. What about you, Kazuki? Me too, maybe. Kazuki looked up at the sky as she spoke. She'd been lying to everyone too. And just like Senri, she'd been reluctant to admit it, and Hine had scolded her too. When she opened up to Takeru about her lie, he forgave her like nothing was wrong at all. Even after losing her power, Hana still didn't talk a lot, but to be fair, was that really a lie? We'll go with it. She was trying her best. That was her promise to Takeru, she thought. You should let more people hear your voice. I bet you'd make more friends. Shibuya was filled with people enjoying their day off, and Senri and the others were living the same lives as everyone else. Except for one person, the boy who had been at the center. They'd only brought it up during a small silence after they'd eaten lunch at the usual cafe. At first, no one wanted to discuss it, but about the same time Senri had gotten tired of watching the ice melt in her iced tea, Hine opened her mouth to speak. Did you see? She pointed to the phone in her hand. It was displaying a gossip site. Yeah. The article was about Takeru. It said that Takeru Miyashiro, the boy responsible for the serial killings in Shibuya, had been kept at AH Tokyo General Hospital to aid in research on Chaos Child Syndrome. And now that the research was mostly finished, he was finally being sent into a detention house for the real interrogations to begin. Even if he was a minor, in light of the effect his crimes had on society, the article said, there was no chance he'd ever be getting out. It said all that in sensational and exaggerated tones. Where does the media find this stuff? Most of what the article said was right. And Shinjo had told them that the day Takeru would be transferred was today. They were able to say goodbye a while before. Shinjo had set it up. Really, right up until the very end, The last time they'd met, Takeru had asked them for a favor. It involved Sarika Onoe. Stay away from her unless she comes to you. If she does come to you, forgive her and treat her like a normal friend. And never tell her about me or her past. He'd insisted on these 3 things until the very end. But Sarika hadn't come to them at all. Kunosato had told them that she lived in Yokohama and was attending Hekiho from there, but they hadn't heard anything else. What are they doing now? What are they doing, you think? I don't know. No one was sure if Uki's question was about Takeru or Sarika, or maybe both of them. Let's get going. When she stood up to go, Senri realized something. Oh, that's right. Maybe she was asking about us. What are we doing right now? Takeru had a spot in the cafe where he'd always sat. Senri found herself looking at it, and almost cried again. The 4 of them left the cafe and slowly headed for the station. They planned to split up and go home from there. None of them were looking at their phones, but their heads were all bent lower than normal. No one noticed. Just before the light turned green, Senri realized that they were completely buried in the people surrounding them. Her mouth opened on its own. Wanna go see a movie? Huh? The other 3 looked up in surprise. Their mouths fell in shock. They seemed to have been caught completely off guard. It's too early to just go home. She was right. The sun hadn't even begun to set. Hime suddenly started to tear at her hair. Dang it, I was going to try and keep everyone from getting down today. Her twin tail spun angrily. You were thinking about that? Why would I hold your hand otherwise? You're not my boyfriend. You hold my hand all the time lately. I don't know what you're talking about. Right. So you come with me to the movie, right? Sure thing. Yune clapped her hands together and then spread her arms as if to give Senri a hug. What about you, Yuki? You're free after this, right? Huh? Yeah. But... Yuki made the same face she made at the hospital. Let's go back to the hospital after all, she seemed to say. It's almost time, isn't it? Senri knew Uki was worried about her, and that's when she smiled back silently. Thanks, but if we're going somewhere, let's go see a movie, okay? Because if she did meet Takeru, she would grab onto him and break down in tears. She didn't think she had it in her to control herself, and she didn't want to let her little brother see her like that. She was never going to let him worry about her again, so... Let's pick a fun movie. Oh, damn it. I want to write him a letter and say we saw a fun movie. Oh, I'll write one too. I'll write letters every day. Every day? I guess I'll have to do the same thing. Wow, you two are really in love with your brother, huh? Yune tried to tease them, but they both looked back at her and spoke in unison. Senri mischievously and Uki extremely seriously. Is that wrong? I'm very proud of my younger brother. I'm very proud of my older brother. Whoa. Yune staggered back in exaggerated astonishment, and Senri gave her a pat to move her along. Come on, hurry, I'll leave you behind. Senri went to the front and started to walk. Unlike a moment ago, she was standing tall, ready to face whatever fate had in store for her. Uki went after her, her footsteps steady and firm as well. The remaining two looked at each other for a moment, and then they started to laugh and ran to catch up to the sisters. Hey, wait, Senri, Uki! I can recommend a movie. The movies you recommend are always so stupid, though. Huh? How dare. How dare. Yeah, every other happy moment was very much, in hindsight, not that. Huh? That's strange. It's supposed to be data in here. Hey, I've told you again and again not to touch that. The door opened and an angry Kunosato came inside. You don't have to say angry game. We can just assume it's her default state of being. You could just say Kunosato came inside. We get it. I'm sorry. The test results were clean, just like always. There's no fear of a relapse for now. I gave a small sigh of relief when I heard that. Good. The treatment seemed to be working well. So, how long are Senri and the others going to keep getting treatment? You're about to be taken away, and you're still worrying about other people? Well, whatever. I guess that's just who you are. Kunosato sighed in resignation. All I'm doing now is checking their chromosomes for any abnormalities. Well, it's basically like a physical. Basically. I wouldn't even say resting bitch face. She's just resting anger. If nothing else, I'm going to keep it up until we can completely determine the cause of the aging process. Right now it's once a week, but I'm planning on cutting it back gradually. When can we start cutting it back? I don't know, Kunosato said. From the way she was talking, she wasn't lying. She really didn't know. My role in researching and curing Cast-Child syndrome had mostly come to an end after I created that image. All that was left was for Kunosato and the regular scientist helping her to figure out the scientific cause. They seem to be having a hard time figuring out what caused the artificial aging process. As for what they know now, there were structures called telomeres at the end of a chromosome, which were related to the aging process in some way. Oh hey, there's the trophy! A repeated set of base pairs at the end of a chromosome, since it has been confirmed that they get shorter with each cell division, and telomerase shortening has been seen in patients suffering from accelerated aging disorders. It's believed that they are deeply connected with cellular aging, and thus with the aging of the entire body. There are signs that Cast-Child syndrome patients were artificially creating them inside their bodies. These false telomeres were shortened at a greatly accelerated rate that drastically restricted the number of times a cell could divide. The hypothesis was that the brain recognized the artificial telomeres were real and initiated the aging process. But much of that was still in the realm of hypothesis, and Kunosato herself didn't seem satisfied with the explanation at all. But whatever the underlying principle was, when I asked her what had happened, she shrugged and said this. It's probably because the mind and body mistakenly think that living in a delusion means being reborn into a new person. So that's it. It's not just the mind that's mistaken, it's the body as well. The phenomenon where these mistakes or errors would occur along the chromosomes had been known in the medical world for a long time. That's right, there's the same mechanism as cancer. In other words, former Chaos Child Syndrome patients were at a high risk of developing that disease. Senri and the others would probably keep getting exams to look for those errors in their cells, all without knowing why. And according to Kunosato, she had no idea when the exams might end. They might go on forever. Actually, there's something very interesting regarding you, too. Kunosato stared at me as if trying to peer into the bottom of my heart. From now on, for a very long time, you're going to lose access to the internet. Probably for the first time in your life, am I right? Oh, man. So he's just gonna die, I guess. Yeah, come to think of it, she was right. The internet already existed when I was born, and by the time I hit puberty, it was everywhere. You put so much emphasis on being on the right side of the information divide, and for the first time you're going to have restricted access to information. When that life becomes natural to you, how are your thought patterns going to change, I wonder? A while ago, I might have panicked just thinking about it. Hello, Sora. What? I'm gonna have to... Yeah, hold on. You always have to have the long ones. 1 second, I gotcha. There we go.
Vevoi, I beseech you WUR. Behoud unto the teachings, both
yep,
Howie wise AWND otherwise unintelligibly, of thy sign accomplice Uweong you. Thought ye may expand thy Howis and
text-to-speech is both a blessing and a curse on the world. It is absolutely both of those things simultaneously. But also, hello, welcome to Viperland to the chat. Hope you're doing well tonight. But strangely, I didn't feel like it now. It'll be interesting to see how you change, as you go from a roaring storm of information to drifting in a quiet, empty sea. I promised you this. Feel free to use me as an experiment. Yeah, you're right. It's a terrible promise. Ito's getting a lot better, not just from the syndrome, but from the brain damage too, thanks to your help. I was only able to save him medically. I can't make any guarantees about the legal side. Shinjo told me that Ito would be prosecuted, but in the end, he'd probably be given treatment at a medical facility for minor. I didn't know how long it would take, but I was relieved to know that he'd eventually go free. Remembering Yui made my heart ache, but it wasn't his fault. What are you going to do now, Kunosato? I remembered something I wanted to ask before I left this place. Kunosato's eyebrows rose in surprise. Are you going to continue your revenge against the committee? Of course, I'm going to keep dancing, just like Wakui said. And then, I saw a little smile form around her mouth. That's right, you and I may end up keeping in touch. Wakui said he was going to continue to observe you, didn't he? That's right. He's going to see whether or not you give in to despair and terror at what's about to happen to you, and regain your powers as a Gigalomaniac. That's your game with him. Yes. Then you're going to be kept alive, and I'll keep watching you, so I can find him whenever he slips up. Can I come in? Adopt Shakespearean uwu speech into one. No, I'm okay. It's fine. There was a knock at the door, and I heard a voice I knew well. Shinjo came in with a serious look on his face. He was looking at me, seemingly uncertain as to what to say. I waited, motionless, until finally he sighed. Shinjo said the words. It's time. Alright. I slowly stood up from the chair. Shinjo knew the truth, but still accepted my decision. I could do nothing but be grateful for that. I knew how hard that had to be for a detective. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry for all the trouble. I bowed deeply. Yes, this is true, Indira. No, it's nothing compared to what you went through. He put his hand on my shoulder. It was big and strong. I had an older brother, would he have been like this?
俺の方こそ
I'm the one who should thank you. There's another detective on the other side of the door, ready to take me to the transport. The rest of the world still didn't really know what I looked like after I'd recovered from Chaos Child Syndrome. It was Shinjo who convinced the others that I'd stand out less if they didn't put handcuffs on me and try to hide my face. Thanks to that, I'd be able to walk outside as a normal high school kid one last time. I bowed one last time to Shinjo and then turned to Kunasato.
みんなのこと
Take care of
よ
everyone
ろし
for
く
me.
頼む
Yeah, see you around.
またな。
Kunasato nodded weakly and I nodded back. Then I headed for the exit.
あ
Oh,
あ、い
Miyashiro.
やしろ。
I stopped and turned around.
危うく聞き忘れ
There
るところ
was something I almost forgot to ask. It's not terribly important, though. Well, now's the last time, so, well, they'd be
彼
in
女の
contact.
名前と年齢だ。
Her name and age. Why Sarika Onoe?
彼女は
Was there some
小野
reason
セリ
for
カ
her
だった
age? It was actually something I'd been thinking about for a long time after we were first apart. It was the first step of a very big mistake. When I'd finally found the answer, I'd burst out laughing.
名前は
Her name was an anagram of my parents' names. Seino Miyashiro, Eriko Miyashiro.
本当の親に
The
求める
things
よ
you
う
were
なこと
supposed to look for in a parent, I saw it in her. I think that's where I got the name.
でも、
But if you wanted her to play the role of a parent, shouldn't you have made her older than you?
そんな風に親を
I
求
think I
めてい
didn't
る
want to
自分
admit that I
を
wanted a parent, so she couldn't be older than me. She had to be a
だ
girl
から
who's
彼
younger
女
than me,
は
so
年
I
上
could
では
protect
なく
her.
子供ながらに
It was
つまらない
stupid
プライ
pride,
ドです
even
ね
for a kid.
今
Thinking
考え
back,
れ
I
ば
was really a fool. I see. If I wasn't mistaken, I caught a glimpse of gentleness in her expression.
でも、
But you did protect her. You're not a fool anymore. I smiled back at her and turned away. I made my stride a little longer than usual so my resolve wouldn't waver. Then I stepped out the door. Yeah, we're already technically post-credits. It had been forever since I'd been outside, and the weather was beautiful. I was so used to the darkness that the strong sunlight stung my eyes. The wind was a little cold, but it felt good. It swirled by as if purifying my whole body. I was surprised not to see any reporters or gawkers, but I learned later that Kei, aka Kunasato, had given the media and internet false information. I walked for a while until I saw a black car stopped on the side of the road. Excuse me. It was probably that transport card. Huh? I felt a sense of deja vu and stopped to look around. And then I remembered.
そうか
That's right. This was a corner of AH Tokyo General Hospital. 6 years ago, during the earthquake, it had been an evacuation shelter. The detective saw that I stopped and asked me what was wrong. But there were too many feelings inside of me to explain. That's right. This is where I created her. I stood there in silent shock. Nearby, in the bright sunlight, just a few seconds away if I were to run. CG is complete too. She was standing there. The girl I thought for sure I'd never meet again. She was looking at me, as if uncertain whether to smile, cry, or get mad. There was a girl next to her that I didn't know, about the same age. Why?
なんで
What was she doing here? I couldn't look away. I couldn't move. We were so close, but we were staring at each other across a distance that could never be crossed. The detective told me to start walking. I couldn't answer. I realized that my fists were clenched.
セリカ
Huh?
何
What? I heard a pretty voice. The soft wind seemed to be carrying it to me.
どうしたのいきな
What's
り
wrong? Who's that? Someone you know?
誰あれ知ってる人
I didn't know what feelings were being exchanged between us, but I could see tears forming in her eyes.
ううん
No, I don't know
知
him.
らない人
And the tears fell without a sound. She was smiling? The girl next to her must have been her best friend. She wiped away her tears and smiled so that her friend wouldn't see them. And then she turned around and walked away from me. Time started to move again, and a smile formed on my face as well. Yeah, I don't know you
僕も
either.
君なんて知らない
The sun stung my eyes. I looked up at the sky, so that the sudden tears wouldn't fall to the ground. I was crying tears of joy. That's what I believed. That's what I had to believe. Everything was for the best. I'm sorry.
すいません
Let's go.
行きましょう
I said to the detective, then I started to walk. I didn't look at her as she got further away. We would never see each other again, and the paths we walked would never cross. That was how we would live our lives together. Yup, well, I did get to meet that one last time. So yeah, that's Cast Child. We're still gonna stick around and get the Silent Sky End. Reach the Silent Sky End. We're gonna hit the last trophies. Sound complete. Listen to all sounds. Oh yeah, we can watch the OP. We'll end with that one. Because I want to get those last trophies. Yep, that was the end of the last ending. Now we're just trophy cleanup now, Grim. But also, hey, welcome to Viperland in the chat. Chapter 5. This is... I wish I knew of a faster way to go through these. So, if we're looking for... Achievement reading all tips, we did that. The fourth route, there's a delusion trigger... Do we have a fourth route save at that delusion trigger? That would be super useful. We do! Right there! Look at that. Look at that. I don't remember what we picked. I want to say we would have picked positive because we were like, nah, no more sad. So let's pick the negative. There you go! Saw all negative delusions. Cool. Giggle and Maniac. Tried all delusion triggers. Cool. How many trophies are left then? That's the wrong one. We gotta be damn close then. 88%. What's left? What do we not have? Oh, it's gotta be the 2 for the map, right? Make no mistakes when putting up the data. Got it wrong on a mapping trigger 20 times. So we just have to do one full base playthrough where we just do those and then get it wrong a bunch of times. And we get the platinum. We will have another platinum to our name, finally. The last one was a little ways back. Alright. Yeah, we get one more negative delusion to round things out. I'm so happy. Well, Nono looked happy, so... Huh? Huh? Hey, bitch, the hell you think you're going? Oh no. Nono hadn't been looking. She walked right into a Japanese gangster. Huh? I'm sorry. If sorry was good enough, we wouldn't need the police. Look, you messed up my jacket. What are you going to do about it? I could see an ice cream stain on what was undoubtedly an expensive jacket. I'm sorry, I'll pay for the cleaning. The cleaning cost? Listen, little girl, don't you know what this is? This is a custom-made Armeni. Yeah, this is very random, like Yakuza on the side of the street fight thing, yeah. It costs millions of yen. Just paying the cleaning cost isn't good enough. It should be, though. His accent was so thick that it was hard to tell what he was saying, but evidently it wasn't going to be enough to pay for the cleaning cost. Takaru! Nono looked at me pleadingly. The scary man's eyes followed her gaze to look at me as well. I could see that there were scars on his face. He must have been really strong. Want to say something, kid? Out with it. No, Big brother Takaru, save Nono! Yeah, sure, I'll get right to it. Guy's like 9 times my size. Well... If you want to say something, then fucking say it! I'm sorry! I staggered back and fell on my butt. There was no way a normal kid like me could take on someone like this. Your friend seems like he doesn't have any problems, so let's go. Go where? Taking you to a place where you can make some money. You gotta pay for my suit. I can't do that. I have to look after my family. Fine, then I'll take the 2 little kids too. What? Us too? Shut up, come on. Oh no. No. I like the very, like, fake sounding. Everyone was gone before I could stand up. I was powerless. Afterward, I didn't have the energy to do anything. Time passed with nothing happening. How long had it been since then? Hey, Taku, how's it going? Anything good today? Gen was never evil. Cool. Nothing good. What about you? Me too. I'm hungry. As we stood there holding our bellies in hunger, a big black car pulled up. What's that car? The tinted windows rolled down, making a pleasant mechanical noise. Inside, I could see a woman in garish makeup, but with an elegant air about her. What's up, boss? Why are you stopping? Oh, okay. Just shut your mouth. Yes, ma'am. You there. The woman looked at me. Yes? What can I do for you? Use this to get yourself a real meal. She tossed a thick brown envelope out of the window. It landed on the ground. Let's go. The window rolled up again as the car drove away. Hey, Taku, look, it's money! It's a fortune! She took over. Honestly, is this even a bad end if she becomes like a Yakuza boss lady? I don't even know if this is like... I mean, it's a negative delusion, but is it really? It is for Taku. But like, yeah, Nono is a Yakuza boss. I can see it. Class president really just sets you up for it. It's really just the next logical step. Who was that woman? But I knew. That was my long-lost stepsister, Nono Kurusu. Running the Yakuza now. Cool. That one wasn't that bad, actually. Oh, I didn't mean to go all the way up here. Unfortunately, now we have to go an entire normal mode playthrough just doing the delusion, the heckin'... Oh, not the truant. No, not what I meant to pick. Just doing the map triggers. So, like, at this rate, what I'm probably going to do is just do this, and then... Like, what do I even do for the last, like, hour or two? This will probably take a little over the half hour to do, so I don't know what I'm going to do for the last, like, hour and a half, 2 hours. I really don't. But let's, it's pizza time. I can't do pizza time for that whole thing. I'll play it one loop, but I'm not doing pizza time for the whole thing. I'm not doing it. But, do one loop. Overture story mode. I do have that, don't I? It's a minute 28. Is that really as long as it is? Well, why not? Pizza time. Cuz. Oh, it's so just... It's like peaking. Well... I feel like there's just no good versions of it on YouTube, and that's by design. We can just pick whatever delusions we want. We've seen them all. We can just fast forward through them. We'll have to save at the map things, because I keep getting them wrong, because I'm a buffoon. That should have worked. Alright. If only I could get it done in the duration of the song. Just gotta keep it rolling. All we need are the map triggers. And, oh, because I didn't do neutral. So it would literally just be, give me 500 yen. Huh? Yeah. Cool, so it's like 2 lines of dialogue for neutral. Cool. Pizza time is an experience, for sure. But also I got you. Which one did you do?
Here comes the pizza!
There you go. Pizza's important. Neutral run? I guess I could. But I'm just gonna skip through them. Neutral is just, psh, whatever. Who goes neutral? Cowards, that's who. Also, it's funny that whichever one they were like, oh, you probably wouldn't have done this one before, I had done. Yeah, in Chapter 5, choose negative for the delusion that follows after leaving the hospital. We must have just chosen that one, like, because since we weren't following any guides or anything, we must have naturally gotten that one. So, cool. Didn't have to go back to all the way to Chapter 5, though we were going to pass it in this anyway. No, Ito was real. Well, Ito was definitely real, and he definitely got mind controlled, but he's on the mend. He's going to be interrogated for murder, but he's almost certainly going to be let go, and he didn't destroy his brain, so that's good. That's pretty good. He's probably going to be okay, and he's probably not going to be, like, in prison for life. So, not quite as good as the rest of the people who just are better now, but he's on the mend. Don't think I have to do any for this one. I think it's the next one, yeah. No, he had cash. He absolutely did. He absolutely had cash-out syndrome, but he was already in a different hospital at the time where we saw the stuff from Onoe's point of view. Yeah, he had cash-out syndrome. We didn't see him in that ending because he was already under police custody in a separate area. He wasn't... I mean, maybe he was in that hospital, but in a drastically different place. But they definitely talked about him in the true ending. They mentioned him. And how he's... Like, when he was thanking Kunosato, he's like, hey, I promised to be your experiment because Ito is legitimately getting better. That was his promise. It's like, hey, make him better. You can experiment on me all you want. And he's getting better. He should have had massive brain damage, and he's getting better. So... But I feel like he was just already in a whole separate hospital thing. You'd think they mentioned him, but you're right, they didn't show him in the true end. I feel like the last we saw of him was in, this ending was it when we had to go visit him. Yeah, that last time we went to go visit him was like the last time we see him. After the stuff that happened. I like how I wasn't good enough at the map triggers to get it right on my first playthrough, but I wasn't bad enough at them to get the 20 wrong either. I was in that middle. If I had been either better or worse, I would have had a hecking another trophy already. But no. Couldn't do it perfect, couldn't do it awful. Did it normal. And like, we could, I guess, start Nirvana tonight, but I'd really rather give that a full night to go. I feel like starting a visual novel with like a shorter stream doesn't give it like that first initial like oomph. So I'm gonna wait for tomorrow. Other games worse, just in case, or better, Grim. But yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I should either be perfect or awful, nothing in between. Yes. What if there's a trophy? True. That's true. You never know when there might be a trophy. You know, I probably have saves at these anyway, but it would probably take about as long to like look through to find it. The thing I love about Gen not being involved in this whatsoever means he's truly just a good guy. He helped Taku get the place. He keeps giving him magazines. He's clearly a bit of a drunkard, but he also clearly is like doing well, bringing people who need his help into the park and helping them out, and good. He has no ulterior motives. He's not involved in the cast stuff. Like, he's just straight up a good person. I can appreciate that. Okay. I'm gonna do this one intentionally wrong. To see if we can get that trophy. Hey, sure? Did I get it wrong? Why not think about it again? Yeah. I hope that counts as multiple and not as one wrong answer. If that counts as one, we'll be here a while. With location, yeah. It's picture the body. Yep, that one. Yep, that one. That one. Yep. That one. I knew you were wrong. So, so that means they keep track of how many I got wrong. I can't believe that's the name of the trophy. I knew you were a wrong sider. You bastards. Oh, that was good. I liked that. Alright. Uh-oh. Since it was a save, I don't remember which one we actually needed. It must be this one. It's leaky. No, it's the tasty hand. We're fine. Now don't look at me. Summary the case. I should just do this at normal speed. Group dive. Yep. Oh yeah, the waitress was also just a waitress. These guys were probably just a pain in the butt, and she probably didn't have cash shelled syndrome, so saw them, it's like, oh, you're gonna scare away the other customers. Fine, but you keep paying, so whatever. I like to think she wasn't rude to them because the cash shelled, she was rude to them because they were kind of noisy and obnoxious, but who knows. Leaky noise. That one. Pregnant man. Okay. Let's do a save here because we did it without screwing it up, right? There we go. Yeah. Oh. Definitely was reading that. Body from the Love Hotel is that one. Yeah, Taku 1 gets the shockingly better ending, which is definitely upsetting for what it's worth. Don't look at me, was that one. Crucified, hard to miss that one. Alright. Save again. But it's okay. Taku 2 got the better story, drastically better. Got to be a good person. People got to like Taku 2. Taku 1 just got to live on in blissful annoyance. Trash baggery. In theory, we don't have to play through the entirety of the game, we just have to get to the point where... Oh, no, I guess we'll go neutral, it's fine. Hi, Mura. Good to see Kurusu found in the corner of my eye. She was looking at me. Expression hadn't changed. There you go. In theory, we just have to get to the last map thing, right before the last, like, chapter. We should also mix up positive and negative so that we do get the regular ending and not one of the other ones. So we should do some neutral, some positive, some negative. Yeah, true, but I'll never understand why. Like, you're right, but I don't get it. Big eyeball. New chapter, yep. Man, I always forget how long Chapter 1 is. Chapter 1 is just crazy long. And then we can actually, yeah, we're going to finish by watching the actual opening. The opening that puts spoilers in it, because, you know, why not do that, I guess? Seems fine to me. Perfectly fine. I'm glad I wasn't paying super attention to it and didn't pick up on any of the spoilers. Like, that's really good, but it's still, like, shame on them. Oh yeah, we'd seen that one. I mean, we've seen all of them, but that was one of our first playthrough ones, I think. It's uploaded to the wiki. Footage from the inside of the Love Hotel room taken from the outside. Save again. Because I know I'm going to screw up some of these. That one. Here's a summary, blah blah blah. What's this video? Destination. Okay. Sumo sticker looking down at the don't look at me case was that one. Plus the footage of it when used in newspaper record video. And that one. Distance photo of it is that one. Evolving Dead is that one. We good? No more mistakes yet. Okay. I'm being paranoid because I know I'm going to screw it up and I want to minimize reload time. I know I'm going to screw it up, but whatever. It'll be that last one, too. Neutral. Nobody expects neutrality. Oh man, all these plot hooks, all these plot points that happened. Just looking back and remembering our like theories and stuff on them then. It's been a ride. We've been going at this for several weeks now. This is like part 17, I want to say. And while we've been doubling up some of the weekends, that's a lot of weeks. It's a lot of weekends to be hitting. But hey, we're taking a break for Nirvana. Then we're going to finish up Robotics Notes and we'll be good. And then we're going to play My Darling's Embrace as the palette cleanser. And then we should be starting up one thing wrong. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. This is all just neutral stuff. It's basically the stuff they'd said before, just different order, I guess. Robotics Note's gonna be fun, or Dash is gonna be fun. As is the standard, I know nothing about it except Daru's in the thumbnail, so I think he's actually gonna show up in the game. That's the extent of what I know about that game, is the thumbnail that's on the system. Because I've had it installed for a while now. When I got them, visual novels don't take up a lot of space, so I just installed all of them. So I'm excited. I know hecking nothing besides that. So cool. Like, all I know is that thumbnail seems to show the Robotics Club and Daru, so... Yeah, it says, okay... yeah. And then we get the Steins Gate, but what if nothing wrong happened? And it just turned into a rom-com. That'll be fun. Should be funny. We're clearly going to pick the Ferris route. We're obligated to do so. Yep, Valhalla is one of the ones we're going to play, as well as Night in the Woods. Then we're going to start up on Phoenix Wright games. But Valhalla is one of the ones in the middle intern. Labyrinth doesn't count. It's visual novel adjacent. It's basically, to the best I can tell, it's a dating sim in the Steins Gate universe where nothing, like, none of that depressing time travel stuff happens. It's just happiness, and maybe not happiness, but romantic comedy shenanigans and dating sim. So that's the best I can tell. I haven't looked up anything past that on it. I know it's not canon, because people are happy. But yeah. I feel like that'll be a fun palette cleanser. And a good way to wrap up Society V until we get, what is it, Anonymous Code is the next one? What they said we're probably going to get sooner than we think. Which isn't saying much, because I expected to get it in roughly a decade. So sooner than that would be nice. Sooner than that would be very nice. We don't really get high on the priority list for visual novels over here. Localization don't happen too often. Too fast. Sadly. I understand, though. As much as I have gripes about it, I get it. I get that these don't sell well. Hell, even the people I try to, like, speak up visual novels to, plenty of them are like, it's just not my type of game. Which, fine, I get it, but it's a shame. But I get it. I may as well go. I'll help you, you don't have to drag me. Yeah, why Why go positive or negative? Just follow. Excuse me. Fan translations too, but like, there's no way. Just need to get this done. There you go. Like, that would probably work, and that's what I had to do for Chaos Head. So I guess now we're finally gonna get it. So at some point I'll replay through it and do the other routes that we never got to see, because Noah has a route for every girl, I believe. Like this game did. But Base Child didn't. Or Base Head didn't. It had to be that! Even though that'll mean re-experiencing Taku 1 in all his glory. But that's somewhere further down the line. I'm still gonna buy it, because big corporations only understand money. If they put out a game that I want to see more of, I will buy it to show, hey, please more, thank you. Even if I probably won't buy it yet. Even if I won't play it yet. And even though it's Switch exclusive, I really wanted to have the whole suite of Platinums. That would have been really nice. I don't know why it's Switch exclusive. It's a weird move in my book, but whatever. Whatever. Living his best life, yeah. His best life is still trash. Because he himself is trash. Yep, just keep it going. Neutral. Hito took out his phone. The LCD screen lit up.
どうした
What's up?
忘れてた
I forgot, it's almost midnight.
あ
Oh, isn't this how the film starts anyway? Yeah. Yeah. Even though it's dialogue we may have heard as part of other delusions, they still just put it there. Man, the neutral route is boring, but it keeps us from getting any of the other endings, so, you know, we want to stay the path, but boy is it less interesting. Less lewd things to censor, less violent things to avoid, less random Star Wars references. Where's the fun? Chapter 4, still going. I guess I could have kicked up music or something, but yeah. I also gotta stop the recording. I was recording it in case they hit me for like copyright claim on the music on Twitch, because they do that rarely with this game. Usually for endings and stuff, and I figured I'd hit the record button too, just in case they hit it, I have a full recording of it, but I could have stopped that before we started this, but I guess it's all part of the process. Somebody will want to know, nobody wants to see this. We've seen all new content we can see, this is just for the Platinum. That last delusion was the last bit of new content, this is just, I want that Platinum. We've made it this far, I want it. I know I'm not going to screw this one up, however, I also know, find a way to screw it up. Means they had special powers? Yeah. Cool. Neutral. The power of neutrality. That was impossible. I just went there. You're hooked up to PS5? I mean, yeah. Play Raft. Oh, I could swap it easily. I mean, I could. But, like, I've just got a mediocre Raft that's a few hours in. Like, it's nothing special. I could, if people want to see that, but, like, it's really not much. Just kind of mess around with it. But it's easy enough to swap between PS5 and PC. It's really not hard. Well, Cultic isn't out. At least not in English. So it's Notes Dash is next. Also, that would be the next one in the series anyway. Cultic isn't translated, to the best of my knowledge. and definitely came out after Dash anyway, I believe. I'm no expert. I mean, at this rate, I'm borderline an expert, obviously. I've played through most of them, but, like, not an expert. Is Occultic even a visual novel? I thought it was like a... I thought I heard it was like a light novel, but I haven't looked into it, to be fair. I've heard the name, but I know nothing of it beyond the name. So I could be wholly mistaken, but I do know it's at least not on the PlayStation Network. If it's been translated, I am somehow unaware of it. While I was looking for all of this stuff. I don't know, anyway. Oh, there's nothing wrong with a light novel. I just... like the anime. Oh, did they mean it? Okay. Should I have top 96 silver? Cool, cool. Sounds like it's been a fun day of fighting tournaments. I'm gonna have to watch both the Chaos animes just to see how bad. I couldn't make it through episode 1 of Chaos Head. I need to sit down and just watch it to see how bad. And mind you, no judgment to the people who made them. Chaos Head was a very difficult game to try to adapt. And I get that. This game would be freaking impossible. So I'm sure the anime is also not great. But I understand that it's not necessarily the fault of the creators. I can't imagine how you could possibly get this game into 12 episodes. Even 24. I don't... It's impossible. It's impossible. Oh yeah, we needed to do a clean run where we got all the map triggers correct for a trophy, so we're just going for the platinum now. We've seen every scene, we've seen every ending, credits have rolled, we've seen everything. There's no new content right now. We're just straight up going through the regular path again, because it's a trophy for going through the basic ending and never screwing up on one of the map choosing bits. And we always missed at least one thing. So we're just going back and doing that real quick. Because that gets us the platinum. We got everything else done. It is finished. It is complete. But we need the map section. Because, I mean, I'm not going to not platinum this game when we're one trophy away. I could do it off camera, but now you guys get to suffer with me. Still going. I don't remember when the last one is. I think it's on the Betrayal chapter, right? I think that's the last map choice, was when you kind of narrow it down to like, oh, it's probably Onoe, isn't it? I think that's the last one. I don't think there's one after that. Could be mistaken, though. Yeah, oh, yeah. I really liked the get 20 wrong one. I also like how all the icons are the sumo stickers, just in different arrangements and stuff. It's a nice touch. Still glad that in no delusion, in no ending, in no anything was Gen evil. And the fact that he didn't have Chaos Child Syndrome means he was really just being super nice to somebody who did and like was helping him out, and like Gen was a good guy. Nothing bad happened to him. He wasn't evil. He didn't suffer. He just kind of helped people out. Cool. Yep, just a side character with a picture. But like, we have to be suspicious of again, the homeless guy who gave Taku his mobile home and would sell him the Cool Cat Press. Bit of a drunkard, but legitimately helped Taku out when he was homeless and gave him a place to stay. Honestly, better than if I was homeless. I doubt I'd have a place like that to stay, with internet connection and electricity. And the guy who he bought Cool Cat Press from. I guess that's his one giant character flaw, is provided him with Cool Cat Press, but legitimately just a helpful homeless dude. Kind of ran the place, but kept people going. Him and the waitress at the restaurant both were side characters with portraits that nothing bad happened to, and weren't evil. But like, I've played enough Side V games to be suspicious of everyone with a portrait. Everyone. And the cop never ended up being bad either. A little stepped on by Kunisado, a little downtrodden, but a good guy who truly meant well. And nothing overly tragic happened to him. Like, he's gone through some stuff here, but like, compared to most of the rest of the cast, I'd say he's doing okay. He's definitely seen some nonsense. But besides that. And Momoseba, she was from the first game too. Like, every single person we have a portrait. Well, the next one's going to be the sequel to Robotics Notes. That's the next one we're playing. After I Nirvana, obviously. And I don't know if I showed you potions. You may have seen or not, but the actual thumbnail for it has Daru in it. Like, it's got the whole robotics club and Daru in a different outfit. So I'm very excited for that. I want to see Daru again. We've seen his Twitter, but we haven't seen him. That thumbnail is all I know of that game. I know nothing but that picture. But it's got Daru in it. And Daru's cool. Especially because this is Daru in at least 2019, maybe 2020. Like, he's already married. He's already got a kid. This is, like, older Daru. First victim, don't look at me case. Scoops, famous for being able to predict the future. She composes her music in trance. Able to Scoops a psychic pet. No. Read clients' minds. Excuse me. Make a nation that's able to become famous, become popular. Net reporter. Oh, wrong one. See, that's why we save. Yep. Whoopsies. Okay. Predict future. Trance. Read minds. Become famous. Popular vocalist. There we go, and nobody has to know we screwed it up. So Dash, but I had a good time with it. It was a lot more happy slice of life stuff, except that one super brutal scene, which I would have argued was one of the more brutal scenes until we had boxes. That, yeah. But for sure, like, I really liked that it was a lot more slice of life, people being happy, normal everyday life stuff, until it very much wasn't, obviously. But boxes, yeah. Our power was power kinetic. We done with the map for now? I know we got one more coming up. That should be good for the moment. All it takes is one mistake, so I'm saving. That, yeah, anything prior to that would be something that they'd, like, maybe describe, but they showed that. That was a lot. That was a whole lot. Mind you, it had the effect they were looking for. Boy, did that have shock factor and a half to it. But that was a lot. Yup. I would, with no hesitation, call that the most shocking thing that's happened in any of the games. Unless Dash surpasses that, and boy do I hope it doesn't. I like Dash being the slightly lighter side of the series. I really hope it doesn't surpass that. Really hope. Yeah. Oh, did you miss that bit, Grim? Ooh, hoo, hoo. Yeah, that was the bit that made Potion stop for a while. Straight up was like, no, I'm done. Their curiosity eventually got the better of them and they went through the archives, but rightfully so, they stopped for a while and I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. The short version is Protag's best male friend gets mind-controlled into believing he loved someone else and was getting revenge for them, so takes his younger sister and legitimately kills her and cuts up her body while she's alive and puts her into boxes and frames them like a body with the head with a see-through panel on it. And they show that. They show the boxes covered in blood with the face looking out. They don't describe it, they show it. They don't show her getting cut, but because of the context and what we know of the time between him leaving, we know she was alive for it. So yeah. Yes, also that. Also that. And it was part of the first route you have to go through, yeah. It wasn't a like side thing. She's thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. Unfortunately, we're going to have to pass that scene to get to that final map trigger. So, it's gonna show up in probably like 5 minutes, Grim. We're fast forwarding, but it's still gonna be there. Because the final map trigger is definitely after that point, because they talk about who could have shown him that picture. I don't think we have to do anything with this one. Oh, I was wrong. One who attacked us before, Senri Minamis. Oh, I still gotta save anyway. I'm pretty sure I know this one, but like, I'm done risking it. I don't want to have to fast forward through a few more minutes just to get back here again. So, she was a pyrokinetic. She showed me delusion of being alone. Didn't believe Senri was the killer. Die in the earthquake. Cool. Yep. And we know 8 months after, like, stuff goes down, because we see a fast forward at the end, he goes to the library with his friends to study on a day off. So he's recovering. We know he's getting better. He's been through some heckin' stuff, but we know he's getting better. Tried to attack here. Yeah, her Grim. I say as we fast forward anyway, but I do like the underlying theme of, while yes, a lot of tomfoolery, shenanigans, and murder happen around the family. Yeah, no worries, Potions. We're getting close to that. Understandable. While obviously a lot of bad happened to them, I did like the underlying message of family is the people, like, you are with. It's not necessarily blood. It's your family. Like, it's the people you're with, it's the people you care for, it's the people you love. Like, that underlying message, even after murder tomfoolery, they still refer to each other as family. And that's a good... Yeah, oh, we're about to hit it, Grim. We're literally about to hit it here. So, we're gonna fast forward through it, but it's... yeah, it's something. I'll just watch it. Fuckface? Which one? Oh, in that ending, No. Oh, in that ending, he beat the snot out of Taku, who thought he wanted to die. Taku had basically given up on life, but then kind of rallied and came back. He basically worked off some steam. Yeah, no. He basically worked off some steam beating the snot out of Taku and then left. But that was, to be fair, a bad end. We have no idea about him in the true end. He probably is just part of the other group of people who got cured and is getting better. Like, the majority of Cast Child Syndrome people get cured in the true end and get better. So he's probably still kind of a douche, but at least he doesn't have the syndrome anymore. He was never that bad outside of that ending, so I don't know how much of that was just that ending milking him for drama, and how much of it was just like he would be like that in the regular... Oh, he said a lot of not good stuff, yeah. Very much. Something I hadn't talked about, because I remember getting this one wrong before. That one? Okay, I remember getting this wrong the last time through. I've done the interview. I don't remember the answer to this one. That's why we saved. Alright. This is why we save. Yeah, it was clearly a delusion, but he did... So, like, how much of that was stuff he always wanted to say and just never really got the chance? And as the backing up thing, we saw Wakui be a member of the committee in a different bad end, and he was. So I'm going to say he harbored those thoughts and feelings, but never had the chance to say anything about them in the regular timeline, and we don't know what happened to him in the true end, except he's probably not got the syndrome anymore, and now the school's a normal school, which is good. But we don't know for sure in the true timeline what happened to him, and even in that timeline, he kind of ran off. Selling more stickers. Real stickers everywhere. That one? Damn it! Alright. I'm bad at things. Didn't notice that. Well, it had to, because when you awaken, when you get better from Chaos Child Syndrome, you give up whatever psychic power you had. And since her psychic power was to look like someone else, that went away. So, it had to. Oh, Cassandra becoming noticeable. Sorry, I read that the wrong way. Then yes. Yes. Correct. Guess I could save before each one, but I keep thinking I've got it right when I don't. This should be the last one though, so if we get this right, we should, in theory, get... Oh no, this might not be the last one. That might be one more. Because I think he was doing it alone for the last one. ID card. Okay. Cool. We did that one. Let's save, not load, over here. Yeah, this game has been a hecking ride. For sure. It has absolutely been a ride. I mean, you could really say that about any side TV game, but I think this one has had absolutely the most ups and downs. This has been the emotional roller coaster more than any of them. Because, like, Steins Gate is like, it's all that uphill climb for the first, like, several streams worth, and then it's just straight emotional, like, downhill, like, craziness. But this one just, it was pulling loops and somersaults and barrel rolls all over. Between the stickers in the case, power telekinesis, I forgot what the actual prompt was. Be at the scene. Okay. Save again. Stickers in case. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Head included, but child definitely cranked it up. And having Watanabe come to Hekiho. Newspaper club. Killer read her mind, dug it up, yep. Killer want to make it look like 70 meters out was attack house. What's the point? They... That one... It's the next one I definitely remember getting wrong too, so... These should be the last ones. Save again, because we're good up to here. I know the end result, but it's the order that's... which these people... Let's see. Killer was talking to in private in the newspaper room. Someone close enough to each other to have a chat like that. People did you not suspect? Huh. Can take Kawahara off the list. I should not fast forward. You can get out of here. I'd only met Kunasato. Take the call. Match the evidence. I don't remember if... Save take Shinjo off the list. Definitely. Uki. We're out. I think we can rule her out, honestly. Wasn't part of newspaper club. Yep, okay. Too early. Oh, heck you, game. Alright. Load it up. The robotic stuff. Absolutely. 100% polar opposites. You go. You go. You go. You go. I guess they want this. Come out in newspaper club sometimes. Couldn't rule them out. Okay. Oh, I know who they want me to pick. Duh. Yep. Alright. About these 5. Which left? Us.
そして伊藤の言葉からさらに絞り込むなら
そいつと
Showed me a picture of you on a phone. Killer had a picture of
し
me.
ばらく話しててそしたら
Means that only 3 people who could have done it. Yeah, now it's when we pick the people who could have. Instead of the people who couldn't. No trophy? Really? You're gonna... Is there one more? Okay. I hope it didn't count me saving and reloading as a bad thing, because then we'd be screwed. Then we ain't doing this. It would also mean a whole bunch of wasted time. Every mapping trigger on the common route without making any mistakes. This is definitely the common route. We are deep on the common route. I don't think there's another map trigger, though. What chapter are we in now? Yeah. should be the last map trigger. I'm gonna be upset if it had to do it without like saving or loading. Yeah, that was definitely the last map trigger. Maybe we have to see it through to the end, but that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I know how to unlock it. I just want to see if anyone's like, you have to get to this point or something. Why is this? We definitely heard this already, right? Did I not save after that? One second, so... It will pop when you're saving your clear data from finishing the common route again. Cool, okay. We didn't screw up. Necessarily. Sorry, your text was suddenly, body just moved on its own. Liar, you were we've read this before though, right? You could read your mind. You must have found something funny because the man on the other end laughed. That's just like you. That's the way kids should be though. So you can at least tell me why, right? You know damn well why. Serika's voice was filled with rage. He knew, and yet he asked anyway. I swear we read this. He was either a sadist or some kind of sick hedonist. The methods he came up with for his murders always felt like one big joke. Why did you make Takaru Mishiro out to be the killer? The plan was to make it look like Senri Minamisawa was behind this. Are you saying I was responsible? Of course you were. We've definitely read this. More input out from Mishiro only a few hours after... Yeah. Learn too much. Like, I was thinking maybe we got different dialogue because we did it perfect, but no, this is the same. Yeah. Yeah, we've absolutely read this. Gonna skip ahead a bit. See if it... No, it was just that bit. Weird. Weird. Unfortunately, it seems like we do have to let it run to the end, and when we save that clear data, we should get the platinum. That's what I was looking up. Yeah. Because it was either I messed up, or it just pops at a weird time. And it just pops at a weird time. Yep, Takaru does story stuff. I can't make it go any faster, so like, it is what it is. It's still too damn hot in here. Like, it's not just complaining about the temperature. I have an air conditioning I can install. I'm intentionally waiting as long as I can, because once I put the air conditioning in, I can't get like fresh air in here, really. I don't get good circulation in this room unless I have both my windows open. If I put an air conditioning in one, opening the other one, it just doesn't do much. So, I'm delaying intentionally. Still complaining today. Today and tomorrow is supposed to be hot, and it's supposed to go back. Ideally, if I can at least wait until July, I'll be able to justify, like, it's summer, it's hot. We'll see. It's too hot today. Just too hot. But I caught 3 shinies in the heckin' community day for Pokemon Go. And I went to Wendy's again, and I don't know. I think next time I'm going to order something different at Wendy's. I just order the basic, like, #1 meal and a Frosty, but then I realized I kind of just kind of wanted the Frosty. So I spent an exorbitant a medium number one at heckin' Wendy's with a medium frosty. It was $14. I ate the burger, which was tasty, ate a few of the fries, drank about half the soda, and ate the whole frosty. Next time I'm just gonna get like a smaller, they got like that $5 bag or whatever. I'll just get that in a frosty. I could have done so much better. Yeah, I got a Dave's Double medium size with a chocolate frosty. I tried their strawberry frosty. It was okay. I've tried their vanilla before too, and like, it's also okay. I usually love strawberry, but like, with the frosty too. Yeah, a medium, I think that's like 10, then the frosty was like 3, and then tax, give or take. So, yeah. Like, I usually like strawberry a lot. It's not bad, but there's some magic that's lost in a frosty when it goes to a different flavor. And I like vanilla too, but the vanilla frosty, it's the same. Like, the vanilla and strawberry are both missing something, and I can't put my finger on it, but it's just not. It's just not. I mean, that's the price of fast food now, Potions. When I go to Burger King, we go once a week. If I don't bring in the app with a coupon, I spend about as much there. Just on, like, a burger or 2, drink fries. Hell, the coupon I usually get with an 8-piece chicken nuggets added onto it, it's usually $12. And that's like, what is it? It's like a bacon Whopper, medium fries, medium drinks, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets added onto it. And it's $12. That's just the... Fast food used to be very popular because it was tasty and cheap. Usually you've got that trio of tasty, cheap, healthy, pick 2. And fast food was the pick when you wanted tasty and cheap. But now the cheap's kind of gone away. So it's neither tasty and healthy, or tasty and cheap, or cheap and healthy. But like, the apps help, but that's just forcing you to go to their apps. That's how it is. But also, hey Swoley, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. How you doing tonight? Mind you, chocolate frosty is still one of the great summertime delights out there. It was hot as heck today, and I was like, I could stay inside, but I wasn't catching any good Pokemon for the community day, so it's like, I'll walk to Wendy's. Got myself a frosty, but like in hindsight, I should have just gotten one of the like really small, like $5 things and a frosty instead of the meal and a frosty. That's just next time. It's costly and salty. Yeah, I mean, I still have Burger King once a week, so you know, I'm there. But yeah, boy howdy is it not cheap anymore. There used to be the option because, of course, it was cheap. You didn't have a lot of money and wanted food. Fast food would do it. It wasn't great for you, still isn't. But you know. Oh yeah, we gotta finish by watching the opening too. I almost forgot about that. Like, we're here for the trophy, but like, we gotta finish. We gotta watch that opening. Gotta watch that. Like, I'm not even really anti-fast food. I'm just anti the price of it now. Yeah, that singer. I've started looking into some of her other stuff on Spotify. She just doesn't have any bad songs. Like, maybe I'm a sucker and just hearing her voice reminds me of Steins Gate, which, let's be honest, that's about a third of it. But man, she did an opening for like a Toho game, and that's a banger too. She's just good. Just good. Yeah, all the ending, all the sadness, all the throwing swords. It's all good. We've done this. Just want that platinum. Just want that platinum. We ain't leaving here without that platinum. I like how you can see when the screen goes white, 'cause it's just a little bit of color over here. And Knuckles. Don't know. Can't see it, but it's probably related to the Triple Q song, Knuckles and Knuckles. is my assumption. Or just and Knuckles as the addition. Oh, now you can add and Knuckles and anything. Yeah, you know. And Knuckles and featuring Dante from Devil May Cry are two good additions to most things. See, I knew this was going to take a little longer than I thought it would. Just how it be, I guess. Sad piano music, that's just a lot of sad piano music. Yeah, I believe it. Alright, credits? Still weird they didn't subtitle that. So weird. There it is! I am a right-sider. Platinum trophy? Super perfectionist! Platinum trophy get. Mastered Chaos Child. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think we can actually just straight up watch it under library? Movie. I don't know. Opening movie, original opening movie, normal ending credits, true ending credits. Yeah, let's watch both the openings. Yeah. I've never seen either of them, so let's watch them. I can safely assume this is bit that's going to get hit by the Twitch bot. I still can't believe they didn't translate the map when they had to pick things from the map. Ah, boxes, yeah. I feel like this has got spoilers hidden in plain sight. Some of which you definitely wouldn't get, like the dinosaur, or the dragon monster, or the Colossus. Stuff you wouldn't know was a spoiler. I also feel like I'd have to go through this frame by frame to catch some of the like photos in the background. Its eyes is God's eyes. Well, now we know the answer to the question. It's right there. We solved it after all this time. There it is. That's the answer. Yeah. Gotta love the random shot of like a real Shibuya crossing. Yeah, they do. So I'm glad we got cut off from that one. Welcome to Chaos World. Let's see if the original was probably better. Also different songs? Yeah, really, like, I guess they just assumed you already played it. This was the OG. Oh my. Well, he is a very delusional person, but you know. Yeah, this was the OG. Gonna have to find both these songs then, clearly. Catch up. Well, if nothing else, this game is going to go on record and probably hold its position for a while for the game that has given us the most sound effect clips from one game. Like, I don't think this will be rivaled for a while. I really don't think it will. Giant finger! Still shows the dragon, too. That's true. It might. It could. Like, it's not impossible. And now that we have just an oof command to just put them all under. Cool. Yeah, to be fair, that's fairly standard for anime openings. It really is. Ending list, totally filled out. Ah, I like that. Not going to post that anywhere, but I'm going to hold on to it. And yeah, that's it. We have 100%ed Cast Child.